So we're here in the Cotswolds for an affordable adventure. Might seem like a bit of a strange place to come for one of those, but we've bagged Honda's NX500 and Voge's 525DSX and shod them in some CST tyres to have a bit of a blast around and show you that you can have a great time and not spend a load of money. The Cotswolds is notoriously busy, so we're going to seek out some smaller roads and a few green lanes. My colleague Simon hasn't done any of that stuff before, so we're going to have a little blast around and see what the bikes are made of, and hopefully he's not going to fall off. So we spent the day exploring the Cotswolds on the road, kind of avoiding a lot of the traffic. That's been the intention. We've got off the beaten track a little bit and sought out some tight, nadgery little stuff that is the sort of perfect test of these two bikes. So the Voge 525DSX has been your steed for most of this trip so far, hasn't it, Si?
Yeah.
And you're loaded up to the hilt, ready for adventure. And it's a great looking thing, I think.
It is, yeah.
In the first instance. And it looks like a proper adventure bike.
Yeah. Which
is a great thing. How are you finding it on the road so far?
Really good. I really like it, actually. It looks, I think, stunning as well. But it's easy to ride. Even fully laden, it's quite happily getting up to motorway speeds, flicking through some of the tighter little roads that we've been down with a bit less visibility thanks to overgrown bushes and things.
Sure.
It's still going through there without any issue.
Yeah, and the brakes?
Really good, actually. The front brake, you really feel as soon as you start pulling on the lever, you get a lot of feel in both the brakes, both the front and the back. And the handguards have been useful on those tight lanes as well.
Yeah, that's a really nice addition. Like we said, this looks and feels like a proper adventure bike. And yet, it's still a relatively compact package. Yeah. So your 830mm seat height is super accessible. You're sort of sat in it rather than on it, which is kind of nice. It's not the most obvious choice for an adventure bike, but it's super comfortable. Got nice wide bars, and it's a lovely little thing. There's some nice stuff on there too, isn't there? So you've got quite a bit of tech for what's essentially sort of a budget focused motorcycle.
So it's LED lights. There's actually a 1080 HD camera in the dash where you use an app and you can program it into there. And it also will feed a sat-nav to it as well. But the dash has also got a tyre pressure warning system on it, which is good. Came in useful when we were sorting out the tyres. I had to change the back tyre, and the chap who fitted it actually overinflated it slightly. So as I was coming back, the monitor was showing that the rear tyre, not the front, just the rear, was a little overfull. So I pulled into a lay-by and depressed the valve.
That's great, isn't it? So at least it was working. Yeah, so that's a perfect opportunity to jump onto these tyres. So we've fitted some CST Ride Ambro A1 adventure tyres to both bikes for this test, and they're pretty bloody good, actually. They don't look like the most aggressive pattern, and although we've not yet had a chance to test them off-road, we've almost been there on some of the little lanes we've been exploring, and they've not got out of shape once, I don't think. I felt really comfortable on them. And they're obviously they're a more affordable option, but for most people on these kind of bikes, they would make a lot of sense, because they are not the price of a premium tyre. They're a long way off the price of a premium tyre, and I think that's, in these times when money is tight, that's very important. So obviously I've been riding the Honda NX500 behind me, which is sort of quite a different proposition in lots of ways, but despite their difference in looks and this being far more aggressive in its styling, they're quite a similar package. So the power is exactly the same, but this is sort of more sort of adventure touring than proper adventure, I would say. And it's all the better for it, in my opinion. It's a lovely tractable thing, buzzes along really nicely, super comfortable. The suspension's a little bit soft, but the brakes are really good. I think the motor, in lots of ways, is probably the highlight. It's not the most characterful thing, but it is really flexible, super smooth. Gearbox is slick, and you can tell it's a Honda. Let's say that. Would you agree with that? You spent we had a little blast on each, didn't we?
Yeah.
Then the motor on this particularly feels a little bit more peppy, doesn't it? Low down than this one.
Yeah.
But both have their place.
Yeah.
And they both would be great friendly motorcycles for the A2 licence holder that they're sort of pitched at. now we're going to go and try some trails and see how they handle that. So I'm thinking that the Voge is the perfect tool for the job, and that's...
I agree. It might not be the best rider for the job, though, so we shall see.
Yeah, you've not done much trail riding before,
No.
have you? So we're going to go potter down the old Foss Way and have a little nosy at some sort of gentle green lanes and see how we get on. So we've been exploring the Foss Way, the ancient Roman road that is sort of part trail down here in the Cotswolds. Really like amazing little bit of sort of gravel track really. So nothing too intense, which is sort of perfect for these two bikes. Really good test and a nice opportunity to be able to do that, particularly for you as a sort of newbie to trail riding.
You put me to shame when you bunny hopped the Honda over that bump.
They'll do it though, that's the point, isn't it? That's a great thing.
Absolutely.
So like we said earlier, the Voge is probably the most obvious choice, at least in appearances. You've got engine protection and...
But it doesn't have that sump guard, so we didn't go anything too rocky.
Yeah, that's true. But that's kind of why, although those bikes maybe don't have proper bash plates and stuff, so you wouldn't want to be going anything too serious. Along roads like these, they're great. The suspension is soft, and both of them only have preload adjustment at the rear, so you could stiffen it up a little bit, but you are always going to be bottoming out on anything too challenging. The tyres have been good as well. Only really came unstuck in the Ford, on those super slippery, big, chunky rocks. On stuff like this, they're perfect.
Yeah, there's
more than capable. Yeah, so obviously the Ford was quite a challenge, but we managed it on these two bikes, and we did a lot better than a chap in an Audi who had a little bit of trouble. But we hung around and helped him push it out, so karma's coming our way, hopefully. The one thing that I sort of struggled with, so the traction control is switchable on the Honda, which means that you can kind of be a bit more spirited in riding it. I couldn't work that out for the Voge. The menu, switchgear setup, didn't make it clear. You might be able to do that, but I can't for
we managed.
But you manage and you ride to suit, but if you grab a handful of front, you're going to get ABS on quite quickly, which can be a bit disconcerting. So other than that, a lovely little run.
It was great.
And you've enjoyed your first time trail riding?
I did. I wasn't sure, but actually, this is a nice run, and I think for beginners like myself, it isn't too daunting. Take your time, as we did coming down. There are a few bumps, but actually, I even stood up a few times, like I'd been taught, and actually, even sat down, it was quite manageable.
Yeah, exactly. So next time we come, we can explore all of the trickier lanes that are part of the TET, so we can go all the way up and have a great old time.
I didn't drop it.
You didn't drop it, that's the result. Yeah. Some would say that means you're not trying hard enough, but I think that's the result.